Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bachelorette Recap, a guy's review. As always, it's your guy, Dave Neal. We are here to track Katie Thurston's season of love, and we are finished and wrapped up with week 6. We're halfway through, baby. This is a very, very big time in the show where we go from the first 5 weeks where we're having fun. We're telling everyone who's there for the wrong reasons. We're talking a lot of trash. We're fighting in little Speedo onesies. And all of a sudden, now it's getting real and somebody's going to cry in front of Franco. Let's get right into it. Do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, give this video a like. Or if you've been around forever, give this video a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm up. Don't forget to subscribe. We're cranking it out. We are slowly inching our way to 50,000 subscribers. Get on it and help support the channel. All right, in the meantime, let's dive right into this. So what I like to do is I take notes. I read them back to you guys. No edits, no cuts, just me and you. We'll make some mistakes, but it's okay. We're here for the party. So we open up with Katie and her co-host, Caitlin and Tayshia, who, by the way, have just been announced, will be or I guess it wasn't announced, but leaked. They will be the next season of Michelle Young's season. They'll be their co-host as well. So they're sticking around. Hopefully they got a good little pay raise after their audition season. So they're joining Katie for, morning brunch or whatever the ladies do where they warm themselves up with a little glass of tea. And Katie says, "Thank you, Tayshia, for introducing me to Blake." And then I was thinking about it. It's like, there should be some sort of tax refund if you introduce your friend to a good person. If you introduce your friend to someone who they end up getting married, it should be like, all right, you deserve some sort of stipend for that. But then I was also thinking, what if you introduce your friend to someone who becomes an a-hole? You don't want to be held accountable. But sorry it didn't work out. Sorry to get rid of those 10 years of your life and your childbearing years. My bad. Moving along. I thought they were okay. Says she's getting fired up. So Katie mentions how sexy her guys are. Caitlin and Tayshia say, "We didn't notice." Yeah, you did. You noticed. You guys are having a good time. Poor Jason Tartick and Zach Clark are like, these guys have extra six-packs. Did they bring in more six-pack dudes? I don't remember the guys looking that good. They do. All right, so they're all fired up. She says, "I have a fun idea." And by the way, whenever somebody says I have a fun idea, like when my fiance says, "Hey Dave, I have a fun idea," just to always know this, it's going to involve labor-intensive work. Somebody's going to get a blister on a toe, okay? So she goes, "I have a fun idea. How about the guys withhold their self-care?" So it's called Operation Whoa Whoa, which is week off of whacking off, if you didn't get the blurred out lines there on national television. But it's a family show. Shut up. They're bumping Harrisons in a 3-star hotel. What's a family show about that? All right, so they do the Whoa Whoa, week off, whacking off. How many drink every time I say that? Connor's like, "When does Whoa Whoa start?" Connor's like, "Okay, so we're not gonna stroke our egos for a week here. Will that start in an hour? Because I gotta go. I've got an appointment with an old friend." They're like, "No, it starts now." And he's like, "Well, I should have been warned." It's kind of a trick, though. This is a trick that Katie's pulling, because if I were Katie, and I'm not, but if I were, and I went on a one-on-one, and the guy didn't polish his porcelain, does he even like me? You know what I mean? It's like, you want that guy to have to, knock some rust off the pipes, if you know what I'm talking about. How many innuendos can we get through here? All right, so Justin gets the one-on-one date, and they do a wedding in the woods. So it's like if Blair Witch got married in the woods, we'll call it Blair Hitched Project. These dates are great in case there's a looky-loo trying to spoil the winner. That's kind of, imagine if I'm flying my drone by trying to, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Justin's proposing," and then they go, no, it was just a red herring, if you will. But obviously it was a little strange. We don't even know Justin yet. He's got to write some pseudo-fake reason why he wants to fall in love with her. It's kind of strange. They try to recreate the Tayshia-Zach date, and no one's buying it. No one bought it. So anyway, Katie walks down the aisle, aka the brush. It's like, say your I do's and then try not to get bit by a tick. Very weird, kind of takes away from the real thing, if you ask me. They do a nighttime dinner. Katie mentions the pain of knowing her dad won't be able to walk her down the aisle. And then Katie finds out, so then she shares this story where she finds out her dad, who passed away, wasn't even her biological dad. Now her biological dad wants to be in her life, and Justin's like, "Whoa, this is heavy." And it's like, yeah, that's what you get. And I can relate to Katie. I met my biological dad when I was older. It's a bizarre circumstance. It's a bizarre circumstance to like question what was your being. And what was up? Will someone leave a comment? What's up with the previous generation thinking we would never find out what 23andMe is or a DNA test? You know, they're like, oh, DNA tests don't exist. Oh yeah, that's your Uncle Tony. No, that's my dad. You know what I mean? All right. Katie finds out her dad. Okay, we say that. Then they go to the private concert and they kiss. They do some necking, as the kids say. Do the kids say that? I don't know. They do some necking, which is always nice. Oh, you know, they're swaying to the song. You go in for a little clavicle cooch. Okay. The guys at the house are now timing each other's showers and bathroom breaks. Where's my timer? I need to find my stopwatch. Hold on. Yeah, the guy like... Can you imagine? I wasn't playing it. Can you imagine if I'm in the house and like, we've introduced Dave into the house and he's just going to make sure no one's taking more than a 20-second bathroom break, because if you do, you got to go. You're in there, putting your salami charcuterie board together. Does that even make sense? Doesn't matter at this point. I don't write these down. Group date card announced, and it says, this queen is looking for her king. Now imagine if Victoria shows up and like, can we get a rain check on the queen? Maybe check one down to the princess. By the way, Queen Victoria is competing in Miss Florida State, which is the most Florida thing you could say about Queen Victoria. I mean, would she belong in any other state at this point? Leave her in Florida. No offense to the rest of Florida. She's one of you. All right, group date, drag queens. Gotta love them. Blake says, I didn't know if I should be checking them out or not. Blake, you do whatever your loins feel like doing, okay? You do what you want to do. If you want to embrace their beauty, embrace your feminine, embrace your masculine, embrace it all. I know I talked to Justin Takes the Batch, and he told me he's going to invite me to a drag brunch when I get to New York City. So I'm going to take you up on that, Justin. We're doing drag brunch here. I'll do a recap afterwards. Breaking news. I enjoyed it. From the future, Dave enjoyed it. So the game that they're playing is called Throwing Shade. Essentially, they're roasting each other. Oh, this is going to end well. So they call it the Great Royal Debate. The guys call Hunter out for having a top 4 list, which it's like, you know, come on, everyone's got to, you know, he's just, you know, he's he's like a gambling junkie. He's like, these are my top 4s. These are my, this is the spread. This is the 2-to-1 odds. So, you know, someone calls him a leprechaun. Hunter refuses to roast the other guys. Smart move. It was. He was like, you know what? I'm not going to play the game. And the drag queens are like, wow, you guys are a bunch of divas. Like, play the game. We're supposed to roast each other. But clearly, this whole date was kind of like a wash. They didn't show any of the roasting. Blake mentions he strokes his ego after work and on the weekends. Good to know. Good to know Blake. He's got a nice schedule, a regiment, if you will. That's going to be the pun to play on words all episode long. Guys gang up on Hunter and say he's a flip-flopper, and that makes Katie throw up. Katie gets sick over it. Literally, their drama was so annoying, it made her vomit. She calls the evening off, no roses. Next day, one-on-one date, Connor and Katie. A double date with Caitlin and Jason. And you have to remember, Jason and Caitlin weren't engaged yet. They were just together. He proposed to her probably a month or so after this was filmed. But by the way, he's got great hair. She's lucky she locked one of those down. Gotta lock down a nice bro with good hair. A double date is a great way to break the tension. Caitlin mentions her and Jason started as friends. Hey, which is great. You know, started as friends. Maybe the vibe wasn't too, they didn't have to be too guarded. They could actually share their true essence. And then all of a sudden, you know, they're bumping Harrison's in Cancun. You got to do what you got to do. You know, good for them. We like them. We can tell that this isn't going to end well. Right, we can tell with Connor and Katie that this isn't going to end well. Katie decides to not get dressed. So as soon as we see, you know, because Caitlin and Jason are like, oh, they're so cute. They have this chemistry. And they kind of have like kissing cousins energy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they kiss a little bit, but they've kind of got this friend zone. We might be related type of thing, which is to say nothing about either one of them. I have to say nothing about either one of them because Connor seems like a awesome guy. He really does. He seems like an awesome guy. It just wasn't. It wasn't in the cards for Katie. You know what I mean? So, I guess that's a spoiler, but you guys already watched. So anyway, Katie's not getting dressed. So they cut to the footage of him getting all dressed. He's got the cologne on, which you can't even shampoo off. That's going to be stuck with him for the airport, right? And then she's just showing up in a hoodie. You never want, let me say, if you're on Bachelorette, you never want your lady to show up to your place in a hoodie. If she's wearing her casual clothes, if your lady that you're dating with 10 other guys shows up to your suite and she's wearing some Lululemon, you're about to be, a Lulu loser. You got to go. We can tell this isn't going to end well. So anyway, hey, Katie respects him. She decides not to get dressed. She decides not to do, because, we've seen so many of those episodes where the person goes on the date. They're halfway through their, roasted Brussels sprouts, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to give you this rose. And it's like, well, couldn't you tell me that before? You know what I mean? So anyway, she knocks on his hotel door. My fiance yells to the TV. She goes, just spit it out, honey. Because obviously Katie was, I'm sure has never dumped someone on national TV quite this way before. Connor gets dumped so eloquently, he still comforts her. That's what I love about Connor. He knows he's being dumped, and he's like, it's okay. It's all right. You're going to be okay. It was worth the process. Quality guy. Connor says it's all right. It was worth it just meeting her. Look, if I'm Connor, here's what my first play if I'm Connor is like, look, I'm going to miss you, Katie, but will I get the dinner? Will they send me the dinner to the room? Where does that happen? Because I've been waiting. I put all the clothes on. Can I at least get maybe some Sports Center and a steak? How about that? You know what I mean? He's like, do I still have to not whack it off? Now that you dumped me, is the contract, according to the contract I signed, once you've dumped me, I can, throw rope. Okay, here we go, folks. Hey, I didn't write the theme. They did. Okay, so by the way, Connor has a new band, and they have a show in Madison, Wisconsin this week. Go support them, guys. Go support the band. I'll post their show information here. It's him, and they're called Sweet Josephine. My thought is, we should be called Sweetie Pies. So if you're a fan of Connor's, I want you to hashtag Sweetie Pies and tell him Dave Neal sent you, okay? We're gonna get groupies. We're gonna go out. All right, so Connor got to say goodbye to the guys, which is rare on the show. I thought this was very fascinating that he got to go say goodbye. I think they should do this. Whenever there's a fan favorite, let him say goodbye so we can see all the bromances that will be destroyed. Trey's crying. Michael A. kisses him on the cheek. I mean, everybody loved Connor. That is one true test of your character, is if the guys like you. Katie quietly weeps in her suite. Oh, there's nothing more sad than someone quietly weeping with their little hands. Poo, poo, poo. And honestly, so many times I watch the show and I know what the next scene is going to be. I just know how it's going to work. So I had my guard let down. I was like, okay, Katie's crying. Then what happens? Like some WWE wrestling move, we just hear some music play and it's like, oh, shoot, Blake arrives. Blake shows up, music over his head, pins her against a hotel wall. Oh, listen, there are good hotel hookups and there are great hotel hookups. In this hallway, hotel hookup was a plus, okay? Katie wasn't prepared. She had all of her emotions all awry from the Connor exit, and all of a sudden, old Blakey boy shows up and he sends her some of his Bluetooth energy right into her port, and she connects to his device, if you know what I mean. Wow, where does this come from? Poor Connor. You know what I mean? Because Connor's watching this tonight. 3 months later, he's kind of over. He's like, man, she broke up with me. Her heart was broken, whatever. Then he watches this back and he goes, wait. Blake came over right after I left. You didn't even take a night? You didn't even have a night of eating soup and tears? You just came out in the hallway like that? Come on. Show some respect for the cat suit. But I'd love to know how that rendezvous was orchestrated. Was there just someone with like a boombox? So be like, here you go, Blake. Here's her room number. Take a hint. You know what I mean? Or did Blake show up with the boombox ready to go? Oh, and you know me with Bluetooth technology. Imagine you're holding the Bluetooth speaker over your head and then it pairs to the wrong device and it's like pairing device. And you're like, play the song now. And it's like pairing device. And then it pairs to the wrong device and you're like, Gah! Katie cancels the cocktail party. That's the next thing that happened. After calling off the group date early, she cancels the cocktail party. The guys do the math. They see 6 roses, 4 going home. And boy, is she really cutting the dead weight. She calls Hunter's name. She has a rose in her hand. She pulls that Thomas move where she's like, Hunter. And everyone's like, adios mios. And then she's like, let's go outside. And he's like, dang, I thought I had it. And then she's like, makes all the other guys wait on the choir stairs or whatever they do. Anyway, the guys that didn't get the rose, Trey, Aaron, James, and Hunter. James, now he has free time to go back to bodybuilding. Hunter has free time to tell us some amazing stories on his Instagram. I don't know if you guys saw this. Go to Hunter's Instagram TV and listen to the 67-minute story of his addiction battle. It is harrowing. It is amazing. You guys got to listen to it. The guy can tell a story. I mean, he talks about, like, you know, knocking on strangers' doors, pretending to be working for the city so he can steal their pills. I mean, he really goes after it. So anyway, shout out to Hunter for really sharing his story because, you know, addiction is a struggle we all have. It should be decriminalized. It should be a mental health problem, and it should be a problem that we have to deal with because of Big Pharma jamming pills down our throats, and we need to figure out a way to solve that crisis. But you can go listen to that video that I made about Hunter if you want to hear more about that. And again, Aaron, James, and Trey, good to see you. And yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. And if anyone wants, you can join the Patreon. I do an extra bonus episodes every week and tons of insider content. If you went on the Patreon, you'll know that somebody in Bachelor is somebody in the Bachelorette universe that's a contestant on this season. I'll give you a hint. They're still on the show. They're still on the show. Sent me a donation on Venmo, completely unannounced or whatever, privately, to help pay for my stolen car battery. If you want to know who that is, I'll tell you on the Patreon. I got to keep it a secret. He wanted to keep it a secret, so you got to go over the Patreon if you want to go know who it is. Anyway, thanks to everyone who's subscribed. We got a bunch of new subscribers. We're having a ton of fun. We're doing like Saturday morning live streams, sometimes Sunday evenings. It's a real casual place for us to talk like one-on-one. Nice small group of like couple dozen people or so. So anyway, that's where you can get all that information. And, you know, you can go follow me on Instagram for all the other stuff. All right, folks, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. Again, this video is a spoiler-free video, so only talk about things in the comment section that have already happened on the show, and I'd love to know what you guys think. All right, see you later. Bye now.